It's great with us.
We just had like a party over here. We were like, Shari was she was like,
I was
drumming
and
dancing. Yeah, she's like, I'm like, I'm getting jiggy with it. But surprise, Shari's with me.
I should wave this back. I never
know. So East Coast Funnies, woo woo, in the same room.
I love it. I'm just jealous.
I know. Next weekend, all three of us will be in the same room. But
pretty exciting.
Yeah. So welcome to Create with Us.
Yes.
Cozy Cats.
We're gonna be cozy. We're gonna be crafty. We're gonna be catty. No.
Catty.
No.
Meow. I don't know.
We're gonna be cat ladies. We're gonna be cat ladies.
Yeah, we'll be crazy cat ladies. It's like cool to be crazy cat ladies tonight.
Yeah, we're cozy crazy cat ladies.
Cozy crazy cat ladies. Let's just have more C words in our life, right?
Yeah, right. Cute, cozy, crazy cat ladies.
Oh boy. And we're lawn fawns, so we're stitched, cute, cozy, crazy cat ladies, because we got to put stitched in there.
You gotta put stitched and then stackables at the end.
Oh yeah, stackables. Well, welcome everybody. If you're new to Create with Us, these are the free online classes that we host several times throughout the year right here on the Lawn Fawn YouTube channel. So if you are new here, Shari is going to be in the chat answering questions, and she will go ahead. I think she already pinned in the chat the link to the Create with Us page over on Lawn Fawn's website. And if you're catching this on replay, it'll be down in the description of this video. But over on that page, you are going to find a downloadable handout for this class. So if you're just stumbling upon us, you can go download it whenever you would like. And this is our 31st Create with Us. We have done, this will be our 31st free online class.
Is it the 31st?
Yeah, because I feel like last time we were saying it was the 30th.
I think so.
Yeah, it's got to be the 31st.
Yeah, remember? I say things so confidently
it's like our Halloween episode because it's like the 31st.
31st in October. Perfect.
Also, Luke said nobody put Shari in the corner except Jen, I guess.
Yeah, I just put Shari in the corner.
I'm not quite.
I'm actually really impressed that I keep pointing the right way.
I know. I don't think I'll ever learn that, like which way it is.
The devil or the angel on your shoulder. Depends.
Isn't there one side that's like the right side of the list?
Shari has a sassy side.
Sometimes.
That's true.
So I guess it just depends. But Jen, can you turn your volume up a little bit? Ooh, it is very loud now. I can't believe I need to be louder.
I don't know. I also could talk softer too.
I will speak up a little bit louder, but there is no louder. I'm like maxed out.
Oh, you maxed out. Okay, I'll talk softer.
I can turn Kelly down just a smidge.
Oh yeah.
Just
maybe it's me. It's me the problem. I'm the problem.
Yeah.
It's me.
I'm the problem. It's me.
So anyways, we are going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and flip the screen. We just want to remind you guys that if you are creating along with us, live, replay, months later, years later, feel free to tag us in what you're creating. And it doesn't have to be exactly what we are creating tonight. It can be whatever you want. We're just hoping that we're inspiring you to dust off some stamps, ink them up, color them up, and just have some fun with us.
Yes, I love it.
All right. So these are the 2 cards that we're going to be creating tonight. Again, this is with the new Cozy Cats stamp set. And if you guys don't know me, I am a crazy cat lady. So it was like a no-brainer on which set I was going to choose to use for this free mini class. Because anytime cats are involved, it's like, I don't even question Kelly. I'm like, this is just what I'm using. But I'm so excited. We are going to do some fun coloring, some ink blending, and I have some fun tips and tricks along the way. But I also wanted to mention, for the first time ever, so this is the first time for Create With Us, I did film a homework video. So if you're watching this on replay, if you want to pause me and then go find that homework video, it'll kind of walk you through how I get ready for our free class. If you already prepped for class, just know you can go back to that homework video if you want to, just to kind of see. I kind of went over some tips and tricks for white embossing on black cardstock, because I had you guys do that ahead of time for tonight. And yeah, so we're just going to have fun tonight. And again, if you're not crafting, that's okay too. We love to chat. We love to chat.
Yes. And some people are asking where to find the handout. I think Shari has that linked, like it's kind of pinned at the top of the comments. So you should be able to, but we can throw that in the comments too, to be able to find the handout that you can download and print out, or just look at it on your screen. So hopefully that helps. And someone says I need shirk merch. I do have shirk merch, but I have this thing. I'll never buy a t-shirt. I have to buy a sweat. I love sweatshirts. And I have like 3 shirk merch sweatshirts. I need to get a t-shirt one because it's hot here today. So
yeah, we need to get you a t-shirt. You've worn your shirk merch during these before.
I have. I just don't have. Yeah, I don't have a summer here.
we gotta hook you up with a t-shirt. Text me what your size is.
Someone wants to know if I'm in Lawn Fawn jail.
Is Shari in Lawn Fawn jail? Well, I were you in Lawn Fawn jail? Oh, when we did Adventures in Card Making and you couldn't be, your video wasn't working.
Was a technical problem, not
but we
Shari problem.
But we called it Lawn Fawn jail because you couldn't be there. Yeah. So I always share with you guys swatches of the ink pads I'm going to be using and swatches of the markers I'm going to be using. I like to use Copic markers, which are alcohol-based markers. It's just what I've been coloring with for far too long. But I did start this year, fall of 2025, sharing a Copic Olo comparison. So anytime going forward that I'm teaching with Copic markers, I am doing my best to match up to Olos. Now, just know that Olos are rocking their own color palette. They're not trying to recreate a Copic color palette. So sometimes I just find whatever is closest to match what I'm using, but it might not be a direct match, but it will be good enough, because remember, nobody's going to see my projects when they get your super cute cards in the mail. So, but I'm trying to do that just to be helpful, because I know there's a lot of people out there loving their new Olo markers. And part of the downloadable handout is coloring guides. So this is what I am going to follow along with as I am going through the coloring with you guys today. And I mentioned in the downloadable handout, since we do pre-die cut our images, I like to stick them down to some low tack tape, so I have a little bit more real estate to hold on to when we're coloring. The cats are fairly larger than, you know, the mice or any of the little images that we have from Lawn Fawn, but it is still nice to just kind of have them on some low tack tape, so it's a little bit easier to hold on to. So yeah. All right. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And let's go ahead. I always like to kind of start with like an easy color to color with, just to kind of get warmed up. I was saying, since Shari is visiting, we spent some time up in Boston yesterday being tourists. And then today we spent some time perusing around Cape Cod. So I haven't been in my studio all day. So I'm feeling like I definitely need to get a little warmed up. And maybe you guys were at work and you need a little warm up time too. So let's go ahead and start by coloring our black kitties first, because I feel like the warm grays are really forgiving and easy to kind of start with. So I'm going to start with W8, W6, and W4. So any 3 grays will work. You can even get away with just 2 grays if you want. I'm kind of throwing this W8 in here to help make it look like a black cat, although not necessarily losing too much detail, but we'll talk about that as we get coloring. All right. So we're going to start with the kitties on the stack of the books. So if you guys know me, you know that I have 2 kitties Gus Gus and Jack, and they're both black cats. But Gus Gus has white whiskers. So he's actually the one that's going to be sleeping on this stack of books. And then I also had Mr. Harley, who's not with us anymore, but he's starting to be back on my cards again. And then some of you who've been around for a long time might know I had Watcher for 20 years. So all of my kitties are on all of these cards. So we're going to have fun tonight.
I love that Watcher's there too.
Yeah, I was like, let's just have all the kitties. So we're going to start with W8. And I'm going to just add and basically trace along this back leg. We're really just kind of adding some shadow. It's tricky when you have a black cat, but you don't want it to look like a blob, right? And then I'm going to go down along this arm, a little bit at the base of this back arm. And then I'm going to follow along his face where it's laying on those books. Just like that. And then along his tail, I'm looking at what I did, and it looks like I just traced that line of his tail just to kind of darken it up. Okay. And then I'm going to take my medium gray, so the W6, and I'm just going to go along and start blending that edge. Everywhere that we added that first gray, I'm dabbing and swiping my alcohol-based marker, so my Copic, just so we don't see a line from the previous color. The two colors are going to kind of start to blend together and really thicken up that shadow. And Shari and Kelly, you guys can let me know if we're missing any questions or you have anything you want to answer.
Sharing their cat names, and I love them so much.
Oh, that's so fun.
Violet, Bisquick, and Squizgar Squigluff. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And the Whiskers and Malcolm, Fergus, Rat Bear, Gizmo, Leo. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Libby said Snuggles.
Oh yeah, Libby's black cat is Snuggles. I love that too. And I saw Libby picked up her cozy cat stamp set at Papercraft Clubhouse. She was teaching in Connecticut last weekend.
Oh, fun.
So now that we kind of blended that, because this is a black cat, I don't want to quite go to my lighter gray just yet. We're going to kind of use that so we have a little bit of a highlight. I'm going to stick with that medium gray and just kind of flick up some more color just to kind of fill in a little bit more of that cat. But because we're flicking it up, it's just going to kind of be one layer of it. So it's going to seem lighter than what we just did with our two markers together, if that hopefully makes sense. Oh my gosh, Mary has Mr. Darcy and Dewey. I love that.
Good.
Beth has a black cat named Bondi. Oh my gosh, such good names, you guys.
I love pet names so much.
Yes.
One of the vets that we went to once had like it was when my dog had to have double ACL repairs, and they list all the dogs' names like welcome today, and they would have all the names.
Oh,
and I just so
cute.
And like it was just so fun to see all the names that day of
that is super cute. That is super cute.
If you ever need a dog orthopedist in Orange County, just email us. Literally the best vet. Like he called me personally. Like he's just the sweetest.
It's so nice when you find a good vet, because like, I mean, we want good doctors too, right? For humans, but like at least humans, we can communicate with each other, but it's so hard. Like Gus was, I know, was very sick during the pandemic, and like, they just don't know that we're trying to help them. And like, they're so fearful. So it's so comforting when you have a good vet that you know is going to take care of them, because you can't tell the cat or the dog that they're going to be taken care of, you know? So that's so reassuring.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, and Mo can jump like you wouldn't believe now.
There you go. See?
Yeah. You would never know. She's almost 13 and she's got herself brand new knees. So
I love it. I love it. I love that for Mo. All right, so we're going to take our lighter gray, and the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of dab it along the edge where we left off with that last gray. Just kind of
firm, since we were chatting, this is the lightest one of our
now I've gone to the lightest. Yep, because we flicked up that medium gray a little bit just to fill in the space, because we've got a little bit more space to work. And now we're going to our lightest gray. And we're just going to blend along the edge and then finish filling in trying to keep it one layer. And don't worry if it looks choppy and awkward. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Which I feel like mine looks a little choppy and awkward, but it's all good. We got fixes. All right. So what I'm going to do, because things look, some areas it looks a little too light. So what you can do is go back in with your medium gray and just kind of flick up from the darkest a little bit more. Feel like his tail needs to be a little bit darker. Up on this back leg. Just kind of stretching that medium gray up a little bit. And then I'll go back to my light gray and blend one more time. It's really however you want it to look, however dramatic you want your highlight on him to look. But again, I just didn't want him to just look like kind of a black blob. And don't worry that you might not be able to see his little eye that's closest. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. I'll kind of show you what I like to do to kind of fix that. Okay. And then our other black kitty is going to be the one with the hat on him. And this is going to be Jack. So he's not going to end up having white whiskers. He's my house panther. And I'm going to start with that W8 again. And I'm just going to kind of go around the left side of his face, underneath the right side of the hat a little bit on the right side of his face. And then at the bottom of him, I'm just going to kind of trace his back legs and then between his two front legs. And then on his tail. Oh, go ahead, Kelly.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say that somebody else named their cats after the Cinderella mice. I can't find who said it now because I was trying to look back in the comments. But that's so cute.
That's so fun. Yeah. So Cinderella is my favorite Disney princess. And when I adopted Gus, he was already named Gus by his foster mom. So we kept it. But him being in the house, I just kept calling him Gus Gus, which made us think of Cinderella. And then when we got our second black cat, I was like, well, I wanted another boy name, like a human boy, because we had Harley, Gus, and I wanted it to kind of be a short name. And I was like, well, we could do Jack. And I kind of do JAC because the other mouse in the Cinderella mice is Jacques, right?
Yeah.
JACUUES. So Jack is JAC. And so, yeah, so now we have Gus, Gus, and Jack from Cinderella,
So cute.
Yeah. Something fun.
Oh, I found it. It was Linda.
Oh, Linda has...
She has a girl, so it's Gus and Susie.
Oh, Gus and Susie. Aw, that's so cute. I love it. We all have Cinderella mice. All right, so now that we did our darkest gray, I'm going to go back to my medium gray. And again, we're just going to kind of blend those edges. Oh, I forgot to do his tail real quick. I was talking about that, and then we were talking about kitties.
You're getting distracted by cat talk.
I know. I get distracted by cat talk real easy. All right, so I'm taking the W8, and I'm just doing a thin line at the top of the tail, just like that. Now I'll go back to my medium gray, and we're going to just blend those edges. And even in the smallest areas, even on that tail, I'm trying to keep a little bit of white. You can see I didn't succeed. There's not a whole lot. But just even having a little bit for us to do the lightest marker will help kind of that highlight really shine through.
It's so cute.
And Kelly, remind me, what was your your childhood kitty's name again?
Her name is Pumpkin.
Pumpkin, that's right.
Yeah, she actually, it was so close to Halloween. She kind of adopted us on Halloween. And she was also a calico, so she had those like fall colors.
That's right. That's why I said patch, because I remembered she was a calico.
Yes, she's a calico, and she was a stray in Florida, and we were moving to California when I started high school, and I refused to leave without her because she was kind of a stray that she lived inside. But so then we made her an inside cat.
And she lived her best life ever with you.
Yeah, she was the best. She used to people because I'm allergic to cats. I'm like, I don't care. She slept in my arms. Don't care. She's so sweet.
Well, Shari's allergic to cats, but she loves me so much that she's still here.
I love that.
On Claritin. Here, but on drugs.
Okay, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah. Taking one for the team. I appreciate it.
Well, as long as I don't pet him, I'm usually fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, my big thing was I couldn't pet her and then like itch my eye. That was my biggest.
That's pretty much Shari, I think, from what she says.
It gets bad.
Although tonight, like Gus, who is both of our cats are pretty skittish, but he just went right up to Shari and is rubbing up to her legs. I'm like, who are you?
He knows.
Yep.
He knows
He can sense an animal lover.
Yeah. Well, he knows that she won't touch
him.
Oh my gosh.
She'll keep her hands away from me.
Oh.
I hear them out there.
Yeah. Gus also loves Chris more than anybody, so he squawks at him. All right. Oh, and it's a little bit quiet on Kelly's side tonight because Rebecca's not there tonight. So some of you might realize Rebecca's usually here, but not tonight.
Yeah, she had her daughter had a thing tonight. So, but she'll be back.
Mm-hmm. Back next time.
Keep it helping us all, Chatty.
So now, actually, we should have started with Mr. Harley because he is literally the easiest cat to color. But that's okay. We got through the black cats. Well, for their noses, what I do with black cats is, my black cats at least have gray noses. So I'm just going to take, I just wanted to check my markers. I actually took a W2, which is a little bit of a lighter, but you also could take your W4, and I'm just dabbing their noses. Again, my black cats don't have pink noses, so.
You could always do a little pink and a little gray over it too, if you wanted
that would be super cute. And so next we're going to do the kitty with the scarf. And that's Mr. Harley. So he was a tuxedo cat. So I'm going to take my W8, and he kind of had a patch of black along the top of his face and like not covering his eye, but like close to his eye. So that's just what I mimic when I color tuxedo cats. So I'm just going to kind of do a swoop down that right side. And then he had very, very pink ears, but on the edge of the ear where his patch is was black. So I just go up the ear a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill it in. I will tell you, like, obviously I've colored a lot of cat images over my years. And so sometimes I do my kitties, but sometimes I share how to color Siamese cats or calico cats. We're going to do a gray tiger cat, obviously an orange tabby cat. So there's lots of videos and options out there for you to follow along.
I also I look at pictures. Yeah, I look at pictures of cats to get ideas. And I also will look at pictures of like cartoon cats to get ideas too. Like if you don't want to, because sometimes it can be a little overwhelming to look at like a real cat and all their markings.
Yep.
And so you could type in like cat clip art or cat cartoon into Google Images and get inspired by like how people have colored in a cat image. Because I know like for Rebecca, she's not here, but she's like, you color the cats. Like it was just so funny because she's like the best color. I think the markings, like there's too many different markings, you know, so that is a way to start, or to just obviously use this coloring guide too, but you could also, you know, I did one of the cats, like a character from my son's favorite book series. So, and that's a cartoon cat. So I used the cat.
Anytime Lawn Fawn comes out with a new critter, you know, like that I have to learn about to know how to color, I do the same thing. Like I'll Google the name of that critter and put the word cartoon after it. So again, like Kelly was saying, you don't have to look at the realistic picture, but if you look at how a cartoonist will color it, it helps you get started on how to color our whimsical images from Lawn Fawn with just your markers. Like we're not trying to be fine artists over here, but we want to make them look cute. Yeah. So Mr. Harley had an all black tail. And then basically his belly was all white, but he had like patchwork on his back. So when he's sitting like this, where we just see kind of the side of him, I just make the patchwork kind of come down that right side where it meets up with the tail. Again, he's super easy. We'll do his ears and nose when we grab our pinks, but I like to try to stick to the same markers, so I'm not making you guys like put markers away and take markers out, because that kind of gets chaotic a little bit. All right, and then we are going to do a gray tabby cat. I've actually never owned a gray tabby cat. I've had cats my whole life, but we're going to do a gray tabby cat, and he's the one with the earmuffs. And there's many different ways that I've colored them before, but I'm doing a fairly simple way, which I actually really like this way because it's not overly complicated. I am going to pull in a lighter gray for this, so I'm going to grab my W2, and I'm going to color the whole cat this light color, which is a little different than I normally do, but this is how we're going to do this. Again, I love how there's just so many different ways that we can do similar things.
And so I see someone says this is a great idea too. Christy Gets Crafty. She has 12 ways to color cats video. So that would be a really good way to do Christy's video too, to get some more inspiration.
Yeah, and she's on the Lawn Fanatics design team too. So she does a lot of fun stuff with Lawn Fawn.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, so now that we kind of did a base color, I'm going to go back to those other grays we had pulled out. So I'm going to grab, not the W8, we're kind of done with that, but I'm going to grab the W6, which was that medium gray that we were using for our black kitties. And what I'm going to do is start to kind of add in the stripes on the cat. So I'm going to actually turn, because I just find it easier to kind of get a somewhat straight line. And on the forehead of the cat, I'm going to do 3 stripes at different lengths. So I'm going to start and do kind of a long one. And I try to hold my marker very lightly, and that way I'm able to get a fairly thin line. And then my next stripe, I'm just going to make sure it's a different length. And then my third stripe, just like that. And this is going to kind of look awkward until it doesn't. So just kind of stick with me.
I like that. Until
you know, you stamped out your cat, so you can always stamp out more cats in practice. This doesn't, I've colored this cat many, many times, so don't feel like your first kitties have to be looking, you know, exactly like mine. And then on his cheeks, and don't worry about the whiskers, but on his cheeks, we're going to do, it looks like I also did 3 lines coming from the edge. And I'm just doing them at different lengths and trying to keep them very, very skinny, because we're going to kind of go over them a couple times. So we want to try to keep them skinny. And the way I do that is I just hold my marker very gently, so I'm not pressing down hard. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side of the cheek. Just like that. And then we're going to do on his body 3 lines on both sides. Again, just varying the lengths. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
And then I saw someone while you're doing these, well, I guess actually now someone's asking about the Lawn Fanatics challenge, but I'll give information after we do the next step.
Thank you, Kelly. So on the tail, what I did, and I kind of showed on the coloring guide, is I'm doing very little dashes on either side of the tail, but alternating them. So 1 little dash on the left, then 1 little dash on the right, then 1 little dash on the left, and then 1 little dash on the right. And you just kind of make your way either down the tail or up the tail. You can start wherever you would like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like that. And then I'll just explain what we're going to do next is you're just going to take your W4 and you're going to swipe over each of these stripes like twice-ish. And I say ish because depending how juicy your marker is, you might just swipe once and it's softened it enough. But mine need a little ink, so I'm kind of swiping it 1, 2, 3 times. But see how it's thickened up it, but it's softened it a little bit. We're not seeing that harsh, crisp line. And I'm going to go ahead and do that on all of these. So if you want to go ahead, Kelly.
Oh, yeah. So someone's asking about the Lawn Fanatics Challenge. So we have, and Shari can link it, we have a really fun challenge. There's 2 every month, and they're different themes. It could be a color theme or a card, like interactive cards, or a layout, and it's a great way to get creative. You can share your cards, and it's so fun because you see other people's cards and how they interpreted the challenge. We randomly pick a winner for a gift card on every challenge, which is awesome. And then throughout the month, we'll feature different Lawn Fanatics challenge participants, and we'll feature cards on the blog too. But it's not something that you win or lose, although there's the random chance to win a gift card. The point is to just get creative and craft together and have fun inspiration. So I definitely recommend that you do it. Or if you're ever like, gosh, I don't know what to make, but I know I want to make something, you can go see the challenges that week and check it out.
And I'll also just mention, if you're not big on posting on social media or, taking photos of your cards, you could still use that website as a stepping stone. So don't feel like, oh, that's only for people who post their cards. No, if you're in a creative rut or whatever, it's a great place to go and just get kind of those creative juices flowing. And yeah, you don't have to feel like you have to post your cards. I mean, we love to see what you've made, but don't let that hold you back from using that website as a great resource, because there's a lot of fun over there. So now I'm going to take my W2, which is that lightest marker again, and we're going to go over all of those stripes again 2 or 3-ish times. And I know I keep saying ish, but it really just depends how juicy your marker is. But we're just letting things soften. Now, I will let you know that this is kind of a technique that I don't think looks great until all the alcohol has evaporated. So don't get discouraged. It's kind of one of those things you have to kind of get used to the feel before you're going to know that it's going to turn out okay. It kind of looks a little blobbish until that alcohol evaporates, because the alcohol is making your paper also look wet, which is making things look darker than they might be. So it's kind of one of those things you just kind of got to practice and trust the process. But this is a very, very simple way to make tabby cats, gray and orange. Looking at my marker, my coloring guides, seeing if the only other thing we're going to do with our dark markers before we put them away is the inside of the coffee cup. I just used my W8. I didn't want to bring a brown in. So if you want to put a brown, you're more than welcome. But seeing the pictures of the cards, you can see we're using a lot of black pattern paper. And I just kind of was like, let's just fill it in with black. It's all good. Sometimes I try to be too realistic and overthink it. Sometimes I remind myself it doesn't have to be accurate.
Right?
Yeah. It's Lawn Fawn land. We can do whatever we want.
I mean, they're cats wearing earmuffs, so.
I know. Yeah. I mean, come on.
That's the best part. You can do anything you want.
That's right. Okay. So now let's go ahead, since we just did our gray tabby cat, let's go ahead and do our orange tabby cat. So I'm going to grab my YR20, my YR12, and my YR21. Aw, thank you. PA says, Jen makes Copic coloring so easy. I really appreciate that. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to take my YR20, and we're going to just put a base color down on our orange tabby cat.
I had, growing up, I lived in Miami. These were strays that we fed, and there was this orange tabby cat. We named her Daisy. Aww. And then for a while she just disappeared. We were really sad because she wasn't coming around anymore. And then one day she shows up again, and my grandfather was like, that's a boy. And so we're like, oh. So we named him Daisy Boy, obviously. Yeah. And because we didn't want to change the name that we've been calling him. So we're like, oh, Daisy. And that goes on for a while. And then one day we look, and there are 2 cats, one female, one male, So there was always a Daisy girl and a Daisy boy, and they finally showed up together. So that
That's
that was
so
her name,
fun.
girl.
Oh my gosh. That is so fun. Oh. All right. And now I'm going to take my YR12 and do my stripes. So I'm going to do the 3 stripes on the forehead at different lengths, trying to keep it thin. And then 3 stripes on either cheek. Now, Watcher, my orange tabby cat, I adopted when I was in 4th grade. And I had him for 20 years. So I was 8 when I adopted him, and he passed away when I was 28, which literally felt like my whole life, right? And there was a period of time where like our house was kind of going in transition a little bit, and he disappeared. Like he was an outdoor cat, and we lived on 5.5 acres of land, and he just disappeared. And I was like, well, he's gone, like we obviously had critters in the woods and stuff like that. And then like weeks and weeks later, he just turned up on the front step like, hey, I'm back from my, adventure. He was really skinny, but he was healthy and fine. And then he never did that again. Like he was always an outdoor cat. I only have indoor kitties now because it just makes me too nervous. But yeah, he just I think he had an adventure of the lifetime. And then he was like, I'm good. It was like maybe a midlife crisis. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
I gotta see what's out there.
Yeah. It was just, I was like, I remember how sad I was. And then my dad and I were sitting in the kitchen, and I thought I heard little meows. And I'm like, no. I'm just wishing, And then I finally got up to go look at the front door, and there he was. And I was oh my gosh. All right. So on his back, it's a little hard, but I am still going to do 3 stripes. And by his head, where we've got a little bit more real estate on his back, I'm just going to do a really long stripe. And then we're just going to do 2 more that run into the coffee cup. And then on his tail, we're just going to alternate, just like we did our gray tabby cat. Just like that. I'm looking now, like I didn't really do anything on his paws, but you know what? I feel like I want to break from my rules. I'm going to just do, I think I'm just do a little, 2 little lines on either side, like just like that. So this isn't on the coloring guide, but I just feel like now I'm looking at the paws, I'm like, they look a little naked. So kind of like his tail, I just did a little dash on the left and a little dash on the right. If you don't want to do that, no worries.
What's so funny is like, I've got a lot of markers that are really old, and for some reason my YR21 is darker than my YR12.
You know what? That might not be crazy. Let me look. Oh no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
This is my YR21 and my YR12. Like left is 20 and 12 is right.
Well, I mean, my YR21 is
that's
darker.
what I meant. That's what I meant. Sorry. This is what I meant.
Oh, yeah. Mine's like opposite C's. Isn't that funny?
Do you think maybe one time you accidentally refilled it wrong?
It's possible. Like I said, some of these I got at a garage sale one time, so you never know.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe somebody else refilled it wrong.
It all looks good.
Yeah. So I'm going to take my YR21, and we're just going to go over those lines a few times until you think that they look soft enough. Now remember, they're going to get dark, and it's not going to look so great until that alcohol evaporates. But we're mainly focusing on just softening, like making everything look soft and not have this harsh line from our first stripe. And then we'll trust the process. So Kelly, again, I feel like my brain is like in tourist vacation mode with Shari, but what's coming up in Lawn Fawn Land? Like, is there an inspiration week coming up, I think?
There is an inspiration week that starts on Sunday, October, what day is it? The 12th.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a really fun inspiration week because we're featuring both the fall and the winter release, and there is a surprise smack middle of the week. So That's the only hint I have, but it's a fun
I'm
surprise.
like, I don't even know if I know what the surprise
You
is.
do know what the surprise is if you thought about it.
All right, everybody in the chat, try to get Kelly to tell hints, please, please.
I know, right? So there's a surprise, and you guys are gonna love it. It's gonna be really fun. And so I believe that's on Wednesday. So
Yes.
it's something fun to look forward to.
Yeah.
Little
Shari
May
is
surprise.
confirming. The surprise is on the 15th.
Yes.
Which is really good because Shari doesn't have her calendar to look to, but she's remembering.
I mean, I have one on my computer.
I know. You always look to the
yeah, it's
Sorry, it was on.
You always look to the side to your wall too, is what I meant. That's all. I was giving you props. Okay, let's go ahead and grab our pinks next. So I'm going to grab my RV19, my RV14, my RV13, and my RV10. And we're not going to use all of these together, but it's just, I think, easier to grab them all together. And if those of you that took my Beauty Fall class, we use this RV19 for a fun pop of magenta.
I'd say I don't think I have this marker, and I don't think I use it that often, so I'm excited.
I don't either, but and if you took my Crop and Create class, we use this RV19. So RV19 is 2025 is its year in my world. Yeah. Which I will just mention, I have so many fun classes this fall because I'm actually not traveling and teaching any lawn fawn classes. So I packed my online class schedule. So I have a self-paced Witchy Wishes class, which is a really fun Halloween card making class.
The colors are so cool in that class.
The colors are so fun. And I'm like, team send Halloween cards to adults, to kids, to anybody. Just make them and have fun. Like I'm team make Halloween cards. And then just this past Sunday, I taught Hello Beauty Fall, which is with the oh my God, my mind just took a blank. Oh, with the Spring Basket Fall add-on set.
Fall add-on,
yes. And so that's still available to take at your own pace. And then Shari and I are doing an East Coast Fawning class, more the merrier, because you guys all voted for that. So we'll be teaching that at the end of October. And then I'll be teaching a Cozy Cats class in December for some winter cards.
Amazing.
And I'm teaching a Very Mice Holiday with the caroling mice. Like I said, it's a lawn fawn fall. It's a very fun fall.
It's going to be a crafty fall. Yep. All those classes are so amazing.
So much fun. So,
oh my goodness, someone did spill the toe beans, and I love it so much.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. That's so cute.
It's funny. I can't remember what crossword I was doing, because I like to do crosswords, and toe beans was one of the like, answers, I guess you would call it. Yeah, one of the clues that you put in there. It's so cute.
That's so fun.
And Shari has linked all these different classes in the comments too.
Shari. She's so amazing back there. I think she should just stay here.
Yeah.
My pet would not.
I was going to say, Scout might miss her, but we can ship her up here. Chris would love that. Chris is obsessed with Scout.
She's
so we're going to start with RV19, that darkest pink. And this book that's where we can see the book pages, it's on its side. We're just going to color that whole cover. So just straight color, simple.
This is the RV19.
Yep, RV19.
Asking if we'll be at the Scrapbook Expo in Ontario on October 31st. We will not be at the expo, although I know it's so close to us, but there may be someone that's selling lawn fawn there. I'm not sure. So you might still be able to find some lawn fawn there, but we won't be there, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I think Canada's on a postal strike again. So make all the cards and send them later. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to getting a belated Happy Halloween card, but you also could save them and send them next year too. For sure.
I think a belated Halloween would be amazing.
Yeah.
Your holiday class?
They are, but I don't know what their stock is. If you go to their website, you can check if you want, Shari. I see somebody's asking if there's still kits. Yeah. Strappy Chic deals with all that, so I'm not sure, but maybe Shari can do some super sleuthing for you. All right, I'm going to take RV19 on the coffee cup, and I'm just going to do a thin line on the left and the right, and I'm also just going to fill in the handle. And we're going to kind of like shadow up everything, and then we'll go back and do our blending. On our little earmuff mouse. Oh, we've been coloring lots of mice. So on our earmuff cat, on the earmuffs, I'm going to do a U at the bottom on both sides. And on their mittens, I am going to trace along the top and the left side on the left mitten, and the top and the right side on the right mitten. And I realized that I say mitten very weird, because my and Firefly Farm made me aware of that, because I tease them about how they say some words in Minnesota.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you pronounce like the T, like you don't pronounce the T's. You're like mitten, like there's no mitten.
Oh, yeah. I think I say mittens. I kind of say it like you.
No one says
mittens.
Oh, they do in Minnesota. They say their T's. They say mitten. I say mitten.
I don't think I've ever said
mitten. Yeah, I say mitten. I don't say the T.
Yeah.
So it's wrong because they're T's, but you know.
Yeah. But I tease them because like they say milk and bag. Like it's like milk.
With it like it has an E in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and bag. Like it's just a weird A. Like not weird in a bad way, but the way they say it. So I've been to Firefly Farm so many times. We're like BFFs, so we like to tease each other about our accents. Yeah.
And someone's asking if Lawn Fawn's going to have a warehouse sale again. We are going to. I don't know the exact date yet, but we are hoping to be able to have one before the end of the year. So definitely sign up for our newsletter, and we'll send out information about the fun thing. I just don't know the exact date yet. We are. It's so fun. It's fun to get to see all of our local friends in person.
Yeah, super fun. And so let's go ahead and just stick with our earmuff mouse. And so I'm going to take my RV14, and the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of make a U a few times just to make it thicker and soften the edge of that darker color. I really like the RV19 and the RV14 together. It really gives like a really, really rich color. Like it's, I don't know, just having that pop of that really, really dark color is really, really pretty. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my RV13, and I'm going to kind of blend on the edge, leaving the tippity top of my earmuffs white, but just softening that edge. And then whatever's left white, I'll take that RV13 and just fill in one layer. Because with alcohol-based markers, if you build up your layers, the colors are going to get darker and darker. So when we're blending with RV13, it's getting darker, but when we leave a little patch to just layer it once, it's nice and light. And then we're going to do the same exact thing with the mittens down below. So I'm not using that very light RV10 just yet. So it's just the darker pinks, but I'm starting with my RV14. And then I'll go to that RV13.
Oh, Libby's saying that they skipped the T in Michigan, and Michigan knows since the whole state is a mitten.
Oh, there you go. That makes sense. Gotta follow what they say, right?
Oh, people are asking about the warehouse sale would be an in-person sale here. We're in Southern California in Rancho Santa Margarita, which is South Orange County. And it's just we usually have a little make and take, and we have kind of times that you sign up for, and then you can come shop the warehouse. So it's a fun little event.
Super fun. So with the RV10, all I did is I did the earmuff, like the band holding the earmuffs on their head. We're also going to go ahead and dab the nose of the gray tabby cat. We can dab the nose of the orange tabby cat. Mr. Harley, the tuxedo cat, will get a pink nose, and he actually gets pink inner ears. And then we'll work on our coffee cup next. So same thing that we did with the earmuffs. We're just going to use those 3 colors. We already put the RV19 down. So we're going to take the RV14 and I'm going to blend along the edge in kind of a straight line until I don't see that previous color. But then I'm going to kind of flick that RV14 out a little bit just to extend it.
And then someone was asking if there'll be a new Build-A-Critter in the December release. Well, there's not a new critter. There is a new accessory in the December release for the critters. And then also, someone here just used the coloring stencil for the first time, and the stencil is amazing and it looks stunning. I agree. It looks so fun. Oh, and then someone's asking if we're doing grab bags in November. Yes, we always do for Giving Tuesday. We do mystery grab bags, and 100% of the profits goes to charity. So we love that day, and we'll definitely be doing Giving Tuesday, which is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's the first Tuesday in December, right, Kelly? Usually,
it might be. Yeah, it is this time. It just depends because sometimes Thanksgiving.
Double check.
Yeah, Thanksgiving's very late this year. It's the 27th. Yeah.
December 2nd. Yeah, I had a feeling it was possibly in December. Hello, Miss Amy. I see she just popped in. Okay, let's see. Anything else pink? Oh, our speech bubble. So the circular speech bubble, I wanted to add a little bit of a shadow. So I'm going to take that very light pink, that RV10, and we want to have the carrot going to the left just because of the placement where we're going to be putting it on our card. So I'm going to do the bottom of the carrot and the bottom of the circle. I like to add a little hint of color to my speech bubbles. I just think it's really a fun way to have the speech bubble look like there's a little bit of dimension to it. So
it's funny because I was doing Valentine's cards this week, which I know is crazy, but we're working on, our Valentine's release, which will be December 12th. And I was doing pink in the speech bubbles just like that. And I think it looks so cute.
Love it. All right, let's go ahead and do our purple next. So I did a bunch of BVs to switch it up a little bit of a cooler purple. So I'm doing BV04, BV02, and BV00.
I think I grabbed the wrong.
The 2 black kitties have a very light gray nose, so I just used a W2. All right, so let's go ahead and start with our books. And the bottom book, we're going to take our BV04. And I'm just going to color in those stripes straight, just all BV04. And then that oval, I'm just going to trace the inner line of the oval on both sides. And then that skinny book, that's like the second book down, I just did a thin line at the bottom of it.
Oh, Melissa was mentioning that she wasn't sure she needed coloring stencils until she did mass Christmas pickle cards, and it looked so great and fast, and she could add lots of dimension. I love it.
It's so awesome. The coloring stencils really are so much fun, and we sometimes use those during Create With Us, and we sometimes color, we sometimes watercolor. We try to switch it up, all different techniques and styles.
We also have a question that says, what makes you choose a pink, gray, or blue for a speech bubble or shadow?
That's a great question. I honestly typically will color all of my images, and I always kind of leave my markers on my table as I'm coloring, especially if it's like for a class, so they're kind of all cohesive. And then I just look at whatever the lightest colors are that I used, and I just make you know, one speech bubble light color 1 and one speech bubble light color 2. Like, there's really no rhyme or reason, but I typically will pick the lightest colors. And I like to do colors versus gray because gray is boring. Shari does gray. I sometimes do gray. I don't mean that meanly, but if I can pick a color, I'm picking a color. So I'm going to take the BV 02, and on that inner oval, we're just going to kind of blend along that line that we did on the left and the right. Now, I will say these are not the easiest colors to blend, the BVs. So just give them little dabs and, you know, be patient. And then that thin book, I'm going to do a thin line next to that dark line, trying to leave a little sliver of white, but we're also trying to soften the edge. So it's a little tricky, but again, practice. And then we'll take that third color, the BV00, and that center label. I'm just blending along the edge and then filling in. And then we're going to just fill in the rest of the book, one layer of this color. And same thing with that skinny book.
Someone's also asking if there'll be new kids kits. We are actually working on new kids kits. So we were literally just talking about them this week. So don't know exactly when we're going to release them, but we are working on other kids kits. And we also have a great question, which is, can I rewatch this video in the future? And the answer is yes. So once the live is done, then the video will be up on YouTube. And the same goes for any of our other 31 Create With Us's. So yeah, they're all available. But if you go to the link on our site, the Create With Us tab, they're also all linked there too. So if you didn't want to try to search through YouTube to find them, you can easily find them on the website.
There's
yeah,
also a playlist.
And and I was just going to say, and Shari also made a playlist too on YouTube. So you can actually save the playlist to your YouTube account, and anytime new videos are added, they'll be right there for you. Lots of options. So I shadowed the hat on the kitty with the BV04 on the right side. And now we're going to take the BV02 and blend.
This little hat's so cute.
It's so cute.
I like how it's on just one ear.
Yeah, it's so cute. And then we'll finish off with the BV00.
Uh-oh.
Are you okay?
I'm having internet issues. So if
you're still here, you're fine.
Okay. We actually, Lawn Fawn's internet was down almost the entire day yesterday. So yeah, fingers crossed. I'll try to come back if I.
Yeah, no worries. You look fine. You're not garbly, and you're still here. So we can.
Okay, perfect.
At first, I thought it was me. You were like, "Uh-oh," and I'm like, "Oh no, am I?"
Well, because it froze for me, and now it's super, super blurry. But I think it's just on my end. So
for sure. Yep. And so I'm taking the BV00 and one of our speech bubbles, one of our rectangular speech bubbles. We're just going to shadow that at the bottom. And then we're going to go to our teals or blues. They're really blues, actually.
Do you add any detail to the top and bottom of the hat?
Yes, I did. Thank you, Kelly. I used my BV00 and I did a little shadow on the left of the rim of the hat. And then I just traced the pom-pom on the left. Thank you.
Yeah. I thought it was a nice little detail, but then I was like, well, I probably need new reading glasses, so you never know.
You know. All right, now we're going to do our blues. So I used B04, B02, and B01. And I'm going to start with my B04, and we'll work on our books. So that top book, what I did is I just took the B04 And I just did a thin line on either side of all the stripe lines. And hopefully that makes sense, at least when you're looking at the visual of me doing it. But I just kind of thickened up each of those 4 stripe lines. I don't know if there's a different way I should explain that, but
No, I think that makes sense. Like you almost essentially you could take your marker and just go over the lines and you would
exactly.
have a
Yes.
on either
Yeah.
side. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm going to take my B02 and we are going to basically color on both sides of those, like just to soften those edges. And it's really thickening that shadow. So it essentially will fill in those book stripes and then thicken the shadow on the outside of the book stripes. I kind of think of old books where like those stripes on older books are really indented. So like even with like Little Woodland Library and all of those sets with books, I don't know. I just like to add a lot of dimension to the details on the books. I have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, they're like fun
yeah, fun
pops of
little
color. You can color in the different little bits and have fun with it.
Yeah. And then I'm going to take that B01 and swipe right next to soften. And then whatever's left in the center that's white, we'll just fill in with one layer of that B01.
And then someone was asking when the Cozy Cats dies will come in. So we have shipments coming in all the time. I'm not sure of the exact date, but hopefully soon. But make sure to press the sign up to be notified because you'll be the first to get an email when it comes back in. Like today, we just had a big shipment of Cozy Cat stamps come back in, and so I'm hoping the dies will be in really soon too. But I definitely recommend doing the sign up to be notified because you'll just get an email, when it's there, which is awesome.
Yeah. Like so convenient. And
Yeah,
we're
you don't have to keep
the scarf. Yeah. And we're working on the scarf. So I used my B04 and just did a little line on the left side of the front of the scarf and a little on the right side. And then where the tails of the scarf are coming down off that knot, you're just adding a little bit of shadow too. And then I'll take my B02 and color right next to that.
I love the B01. Like when it comes in, it just adds this like really pretty brightness.
Yeah, it's like a nice pop of a light, right?
Yeah.
Now, because that front panel, especially of the scarf, has a lot of space, I don't want to now just go to my B01. So keeping that B02, I'm actually going to just kind of flick out a little bit more color just because we have some more real estate to work with on some of these areas of the scarf. And again, because we're not blending and it's just like one layer, it's a lot lighter than when we were blending. And then we'll go ahead and finish this off with the B01. And I left the stripes on this scarf white because if you know me, we are going to glitter all of the things. So for our ball of yarn, all I did was took my B01 and colored in that whole ball of yarn. And I actually traced the string. And then I take my B04 and I'm not trying to trace every single line and I'm not trying to trace it perfectly, but I'm just going to like gently drag my marker over a few of the lines just to get some dimension in there, just so we'll have some lights and darks. But it's not meant to be perfect. It's just like real simple.
People are asking like the most perfect questions because someone's asking if pearlescent vellum is coming back. We have been working on getting pearlescent vellum back for years now, and we're getting closer to making that happen. So everybody cross your fingers and your toes because there's a good chance that not only the standard pearlescent vellum can come back, but some different, not exactly the pastels, but some different colors. Once again, I'm really fingers crossed. I'm really hoping we're getting closer to making it happen, which is really, it's very hard to get. So we're very excited
that paper sources in general, the past couple of years have been a real struggle.
Very difficult. Yeah. I'm really, really excited. Yeah.
And then with B01, I'm going to shadow that last speech bubble. So the bottom and the carrot.
And then we have some good questions here. Someone says, I know Jen isn't a fan of red, but Kelly, do you have a favorite red Copic color combo? Well, I like R29, R24, R22, but then Jen brings in R35, funny enough, because you say you don't like red, but you make it so pretty. And the R35 is then you do R35
and
R20
R29. Yeah.
29. It looks really beautiful. So
it's
now
like a
I
pinky red.
do,
It's like a warm red. This is
yeah.
my favorite combo right here.
And then I sometimes will do that, or I will do 29, 24, 22.
My 24 died.
Yeah. I'll do like that.
Yeah.
Which I think is really pretty too. Like the 22 seems really light, but when it's just on the edge, it gives it that like
highlight. Yeah.
that glow. Yeah. Yeah. So I really like that. And then another question that's color related, they know the story of Lawn Fawn, but was wondering how we picked the colors for your logo in twine. I think they're partly, obviously we had to have green because it's Lawn Fawn. So we had to have our grass green. And then I love the turquoise color. And at the time, remember, everything was like, when we started, it was pink, or pink and black was kind of like the trendy. And so I was like, oh, I want to do something a little different. And I like that what we do, not always, but most often, is make scene cards. And so you have your blue sky and your green grass. So that's kind of how you were inspired to do the colors, and why we have the turquoise in with the green and then the white, because it's just a nice crisp, background for the colors.
Yeah, super fun. And then the very last thing we're going to do is I just took an E41 or some sort of light brown or tan or gray, whatever you want, and I just colored my book pages. I didn't want them to be white. I wanted them to be a little loved. All right. So cute. Look how fun. So let's go ahead and let's glitter all of our images, because I actually want to also, before we peel them off the tape, I said I was going to mention a couple like tricks. So I feel like sometimes when you're coloring like a black kitty, that you lose the detail of their eyes. So what I like to do is grab a micron pen, and I personally just kind of keep these three sizes in my cup on my desk. So I have 01, 03, and 08. And the numbers are just telling you their width. So 08's pretty thick. 03 is kind of medium. And then 01 is really, really thin. And I also use these like if, oh, sorry, I'm off camera a little bit, but I actually use these if my stamping doesn't come out perfectly. I can kind of just touch them up a little bit with a black pen. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually use my 03, and I'm going to just trace the eyes, which are like little U's, of my black kitties. And that's just enough to kind of make that detail pop again, so that they don't, get lost in our dark coloring. Okay. And then I also just kind of did their little mouth lines. I didn't do their nose, but you most certainly could. I felt like since their noses were colored with a light color, I didn't feel like I needed to do that. Now, like I said, the kitty with the hat on, that's Jack, who my kitty, he has black whiskers. So I'm going to trace those whiskers. And then Gus, my other black kitty, he has white whiskers. And we kind of joke around here. My friend Josie, who helps me a lot with my business, she is here a lot, and she could not tell the kitties apart. So Gus grew white whiskers for Auntie Jojo, so she could tell the difference between them. So I take my white jelly roll, and I just get it started on my skin just because it's warm. And then I'm just going to trace right over these black whiskers with my white gel pen, because this is Gus. So yeah, so just having those micron pens just to add in those details of their eyes and their whiskers, again, over that dark coloring, just I think really helps kind of make them pop. Just looks nice. So with that being said, now we can glitter all of the things. So I'm just going to gently peel these off of my low stick tape. And this tape does not go to waste. I will keep this for die cutting later. It holds my dies in place, so I use it for many different reasons. I say pull gently because mine have been living on the tape probably longer than you guys. If you're anything like me, you were probably getting ready for class right before we started.
That's how I do it.
Just saying, not throwing you under the bus or anything, but just saying. And now we'll go ahead and glitter all of the things. So what I like to do is use Lawn Fawn Prisma Glitter, which is just a really fun, pretty, ultra fine, iridescent glitter. And then I use my beloved Quickie Glue pen.
Someone just popped in there like, and Shari?
Oh yeah. Yep, Shari's behind here. It's real. It's not AI generated. She's actually here.
It really does look like she's almost in a bubble, or like you somehow found a way to meld your screens, or
She's there. She's there. She's visiting. Her and her husband are visiting. It's so fun. All right. And so we've learned over the years, yes, I like to glitter all of the things, but I also like to glitter in moderation. So I just pick different areas to just kind of highlight. I don't necessarily want to sparkle everything because I like that I can get a really nice fine detail with the Quickie Glue pen. And I always list on your handout like what I've glittered. So, you know, if you're not at this step yet or you're kind of working at your own pace, I try my really best in these free classes and my online classes and my in-person classes to give detailed handouts. So you have all of those details. So when you're ready to kind of work on it, you'll know what I did. You do not need to glitter everywhere that I did, but I just know people like to try to mimic in a class, especially what people have done. So I'm going to go ahead and color in the bands on the blue book. And I just take my Quickie Glue pen and fill it in. And then I just take this and dip it into the glitter and out. Now you can see there's a lot of static cling there, right? So what I do is I just take my pen and tap it on the edge of the cardstock, and then that static cling will drop away. Now I see there's a little bit right here. So another thing that you also could do is just take like a dry paintbrush and just brush it. Now, because I'm using my glitter storage container, I like having something a little bit larger. This is like about 5.5 inches. If you have anything smaller, there's more chance of it going everywhere. And I personally just don't like to like pour glitter out and funnel it back in because there's more chance of making a mess that way. And it's totally fine if you love to sparkle. I am not going to stop you from doing that. But I think most people stay away from using an ultrafine glitter because they think it's messy, but it doesn't have to be messy. So it's kind of like my like goal in life to get everybody to glitter all of the things. And so on this second book, I just traced the shadow. And on my last book, I'm going to trace those stripes and then the shadow on the oval. And they're just fun little sparkly details. And I never tap it with my finger because I literally never want to touch the glitter. Once it's on your skin, it is going to be with you a while. Each of the speech bubbles, I'm just tracing those color shadows. Any questions, Miss Kelly?
Yeah, so this is an interesting idea. It says, do you ever think might have a printable guide of the sentiments you have that fit in the speech bubbles? I don't know if we'll have a guide. That being said, those tiny phrases that are in so many of our sets,
yeah,
they almost all have a speech bubble that fits in them. I don't know, maybe there's a longer one that maybe doesn't, but I mean, I would say 90% of them would fit in a speech bubble, because in all the speech bubble set, there's the different sizes. So we have longer ones and smaller ones, etc. And so what I do, maybe I should find all the speech bubble set. We always have it.
Often have it right here.
Yeah, I have my party hats. All the we call the alvas. We have a basket in the office. I'll show you guys. These are always out, and it's the Henrys, all the Henrys and all the Alvas. Because they're the things that we tend to use on cards so much. Henrys for sentiments and then the Alvas. And so for the speech bubbles,
Here we go.
yeah, what I do is I don't stamp it out or anything. I just go like this.
Yeah.
And I test them, so I look and I go, nope, too small. Nope. Oh, there we go. Nice match. And I just test them just like that. I just roll the one stamp over the other until I find which one it fits in. And then that's how I do it. That way I'm not having to like stamp and try a bunch of them.
Yeah.
The other thing sometimes we'll do is stamp and cut a bunch of speech bubbles. And then I put them in a little Ziploc bag inside of my pocket with my stamp and dies. And then I have just a pocket of them, and all the different sizes, and you can test it. And then you can just layer the actual die cut speech bubble behind the letters and see which one might fit.
And sometimes I'll even just stamp like a little heart in the speech bubble. I like that it's like not necessarily a word, but just like giving all the love,
A little speech, a little music note or.
Yeah. So for the earmuff kitty, I just did the headband and then the shadows on the earmuffs and the shadows on the mittens. Just real simple. For the
I like the sparkly speech bubbles.
I mean, who doesn't want sparkly earmuffs too, right?
I mean, obviously.
And then for the coffee cup,
it's too hot here, but if I had them, I would want them to be sparkly.
Yeah. For the coffee cup, I did a stripe on the left and the right, and then filled in the handle, just where we did that darkest RV color. Give it a little.
I made those headphones on my card.
Shari's mentioning, just in case you can't hear her, she used this set. Scrapbook and Cards Today had a fun World Card Making Day celebration. And so she made several different cards with the Cozy Cat set, and she used this kitty and made it like headphones, like it's listening to music, which is a really fun idea.
Someone earlier had mentioned that it was listening to a podcast, which I thought was cute.
Yeah. That's fun too. I love a good true crime podcast.
It was a bookstore coffee theme. It had to be headphones.
Yeah. So I just traced the shadow on the scarf and then those 2 white stripes. Remember, we didn't add color there because I knew I was going to glitter all of the things.
I'd be curious to know. I feel like a lot of crafters are true crime people. I'm not a true crime person, but I feel like if we didn't, like, it would be like the majority of people.
It honestly comes
There's
up.
Like a hand. Yeah.
It comes up here and there in my online classes, not just by me, but it is interesting. A lot of people chime in that they listen to a lot of true crime. Chris always laughs because he'll walk in my studio and I'm creating adorable, cute, fun, whimsical, loving cards. And it's like true crime, and then the body was discovered, I'm like, it's a balance. It's a balance.
I used to like mysteries and stuff, and I think I have a lot of anxiety, and like as I get older, I can't handle it as much. I just want like a romance, like.
That's kind of how my friend Melissa with a Y is, who has my nephews. Ever since she became a mom, she has a really hard time like reading like mysteries and stuff. So I think, I can see that.
I just stick to like my rom-com type stories.
Yeah. So on our little kitty that has the hat, on the brim of the hat, I just kind of traced where we did that shadow with that light BV marker. And then I filled in the whole pom-pom. And the Quickie Glue Pen comes out blue, but it will dry clear. It doesn't take long, but it will dry clear. That's like super cute. And then on the yarn, I traced the string coming out of the ball of yarn. And then I also just traced a couple of the lines, and it doesn't have to be the lines that you did a dark marker on. It just, again, is just adding some sparkle. This is sparkly yarn. Because if I were to stitch anything with yarn, do you stitch with yarn?
Knit or crochet.
Knit. If I were to knit or crochet with yarn, it would be sparkly. I had a feeling I was saying the wrong word. All right.
Oh my goodness. We've got true crime. It's just, you're one or the other. You love true crime or you're like, it freaks me out.
Yeah.
And I like this because Melissa's into true crime and Hallmark movies. And I love that. She's got both.
Yeah.
And then we've got Cynthia, who's a retired lawyer, who's like, no true crime.
Yeah.
And then we also had a question, which is a really good question, is wondering if there's a sentiment ideas for the build of sentiments. And we actually don't have, we have some general ones on our website. Usually in the intro videos, I'll show like a either stamped out or printed out list of just some of the phrases that you can make, or you can make a ton more. So you can look through our samples or see the intro video. And there's way more than even what we show, because I'll discover a new one that I want to make depending on the card. But it's a fun set because you can really build the exact size sentiment that you need for your card, which is really fun.
All right, we're going to do some ink blending next. And so I have my 2 card kits, and we're going to start with the Winter Wonderland window card kit. And in that, I had you guys do a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of your favorite white cardstock to ink blend on. I am using Distress White Heavy Stock. And then we're going to go ahead and start with Merman, the best teal in all of the land.
And before you start, I have to share this because it's such a great idea. And now I think it was by, but when she die cuts those extra little pieces, like I mentioned, doing the speech bubbles or whatever, she puts them in, yes, it was a little one, in coin storage pages or like baseball card collecting pages. And she puts that is such a good idea.
So
I love that, because you could just have.
So I have to tell you, Kelly, little one 617, that is Amy, who kit for me all those years of traveling and teaching in-person classes. So she's a nurse at Mass General, and she, like, back pre-pandemic, did all the kitting for me, just so you know. So she is like a professional.
I remember. Yes, she knows what's up. We need to take her advice.
Yep. So yeah, shout out to Miss Amy, because there were a lot of classes, a lot of kits back then. Okay, so we're going to start with Merman, and we're going to ink blend like the top 1 1/4-ish of our panel. I always like to hold my ink pad in my ink stand. I'm inking up my blending brush. I'm working on my glass tabletop. So like a non-porous surface is really nice, because that way you're kind of not losing a lot of your ink into a paper surface under you. I tap my ink off, my blending brush, on my non-porous surface, just so there's not so much ink to get started on my brush to get started. And I actually like to blend on my table first. So I'm actually blending my table, and then I bring the brush in. And again, I'm going to do like about 1 1/4-ish. It doesn't matter. But we're going to do 3 colors on here, so we don't want to go too far down. And by working on a non-porous surface, any of the ink that's left behind on your table, because it's non-porous, it's not drying. So your blending brush is able to grab it and bring it in as your brush dries. It kind of re-inks itself, so you don't always have to keep going back to your ink pad. I'm going to clean my table off because it has ink. So I use just a bottle of isopropyl alcohol. And then I always have like a flour sackcloth in my lap, and I'll just wipe this away. The isopropyl alcohol is nice because it evaporates right away. So you don't have any like dampness left behind on your table. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to Moonstone. The past like 4 months of classes have been, let me come up with all the random color combos and just have so much fun with it.
You're on your colorful journey.
Yep.
Someone was wondering if all the lawn inks come in a mini. Almost all of them. I believe there might be 1 or 2. We have to do the mini packs. We need 4, and there may be 1 or 2 haven't had a new color to make the full pack. But if it's not all of them, it's almost all of them.
I just don't remember which one it is.
I bet it's like Rainforest and Clover.
It's Clover.
Okay.
I think.
Rainforest. Okay, Rainforest has a mini.
It's
okay.
Clover that is.
Yeah, Rainforest does, yeah.
So Clover doesn't have a mini yet.
I was looking for Rainforest or Kiddie Pool, but they're both in one.
So we're going to do Moonstone. And we're going to go about an inch and 2 inches-ish. But you want to overlap into Merman. So even if you're using different brand inks, I'm using a water-based dye ink. That's what Lawn Fawn inks are. So because they're a dye ink and not like a Distress Oxide has a pigment property, which makes them more opaque. But because these are a dye ink, they're more translucent. So by going up into this Merman, we're getting like the two colors to overlap, and we're getting a really pretty kind of like in-between color.
This color's so pretty.
Yeah. I'm doing probably, I don't know, this is close. I gotta measure because I feel like some of you guys are gonna want to know.
Is it like a third?
Yeah, kind of. But I did a little less than Merman.
Oh.
It's like almost 2.5 inches-ish. Because, again, we're going to do another color coming up. And we want to have some overlap room. But you can't go wrong with this. This is just a pretty ombre background. So don't stress about it too much. And then we're doing Plastic Flamingo. I really was pulling out all the fun colors. So I'm going to clean off my surface.
Lawn Fawn's named after a lawn ornament, so this one's a little this name is a little nod to that.
Yep, love it. And we're gonna just come right up into that moonstone.
If you use different brushes for wire versus oxide.
So Shari's telling me somebody's asking, do you use different blending brushes for the water-based dye inks like Lawn Fawn versus your Distress Oxides? And the answer is yes, you should. Because Distress Oxides, because of their pigment property, the formula in that ink, I want to say it has glycerin or something like glycerin. Don't quote me on that because I'm not an ink scientist. But it has something in the formula that's not good to have on your brushes and then rub it into your dye-based ink pads. So I will say, I personally, when I'm using my Distress Oxides, I personally still just use a good old ink blending tool, because with Distress Oxides, they blend like butter. You don't need to put much effort into it. So you don't need the little bristles of a blending brush, I feel. And so I keep my blending brushes for dye inks. And this brush here, I'll use with Lawn Fawn inks, regular Distress, any dye inks. And then I use my ink blending tools for Distress Oxides. And then that way you kind of keep things separate and you're not mixing what's in those inks.
Yeah, I use the blending brushes, these ones for the oxides, and I like it, but over time the brushes do get like almost crusty.
Mm-hmm.
So like they kind of harden up a little bit, where I don't think like the old school blending
foam,
like sticks, foams wouldn't do that. Yeah.
But you don't use that blending brush and then put it in your Lawn Fawn.
No, I have different ones. Yeah, I have different ones. I just meaning I'm choosing the same type.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have different ones for my different inks. Now, if I didn't, I actually used to just have like a blue brush, a turquoise brush, a pink brush.
Yep.
But what was happening is eventually the colors start to mix and people would be like, what color is that when I do a video? And I'd be like, well, Plastic Flamingo, but it probably has some whatever. And so I do have individual brushes for every color, but I really don't think that I wouldn't do that in my craft room like as a crafter. It's only because I want to make sure I'm showing. I actually kind of like when the color, it gives you like fun, unique colors.
Yeah, fun surprises. And these are like my brushes, like they are very loved. So I'm the same way. I'm starting to kind of get different colors when you're not sure. I think I just established, we were talking about it in my online class this past weekend. My brushes are so seasoned and loved, which I love because I think they blend better. I don't ever clean them. But I think I'm now ready to graduate and treat myself to a set of brushes for my light colored inks. So when I'm pulling in like Minty Fresh and Ballet Slippers and all of those light colors, they'll stay true to light. It's just hard when I have like merman and I go to minty fresh, it's like there's still a
Yeah.
little merman in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we have this done, let's just set this aside a second. And then next what we're going to do is out of our other kit, I have some of this really pretty light gray striped paper from the new All the Sparkles Petite Paper Pack. And this is really fun. It comes in 12 by 12 and 6 by 6, but you've got this really fun gold foiled sparkle page, and then you have a really fun stripey page. And I love like the irregular stripe. I just think there's so much that you can do with it. And so what we're going to do with this one is I thought it was really pretty to use the new snowflake stencil and stencil over the pattern paper. And since it's such a subtle pattern, it's not, I don't think it got too cluttered. I think it looks really pretty.
No, I really like it. I think I didn't even realize that's what you did at first until I looked closer and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's so pretty. It just is does a little something extra, you know?
Something. So I'm going to use my Make Art Station, which is a thin magnetic board. And this is already cut to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I just take a little bit of removable adhesive and add it to the back of my pattern paper and put it down on this Make Art Station. And then I grab my stencil. And again, this is the new snowflake stencil, but I know Lawn Fawn has some really fun snowflake stencils and we've used other ones in the past. So shop your stencil stash, whatever you've got working, but you know me, if there's something new with snowflakes, I'm owning it. And I'm just going to go ahead and lay this down. And then because this is a magnet board, I will just put my magnets down to hold it in place. And so what I found is we're going to use the same exact inks that we use to do our background. So we are going to start with Merman, but I'm actually not going to re-ink by blending brush. Now, if you have brand new blending brushes, you might end up going into your ink pad, but I'm going to just see what's left on my brush. So that way I'm able to get a softer color, right? And we're going to put that at the top. Again, if you have brand new blending brushes, you might find you've got to ink up your brush. That's fine. You can do that. But I'm just going to kind of keep, see what I've got in my brush before I ink up. And I like to swirl my blending brush kind of like clockwise, and then I kind of go counterclockwise just to kind of get in all those little nooks and crannies of the snowflakes. And I am going about 1.5 inches-ish down. Everything's an ish in my world. We rarely measure because usually when I measure, I mess things up. Then we're going to go ahead and do Moonstone. So again, I'm just going to kind of see what ink I have left in my brush. And feel free to go up into your merman. So we're overlapping a little bit.
Someone was saying that she's like, I didn't think I need another paper pad, but this one, I know this one is so pretty. I am obsessed with this one.
And I love, like, clearly I was loving the pop of black in it. Like, that's what inspired, honestly, the whole color palette of my cards was, I mean, I know we haven't really we haven't brought in the black pattern paper yet, but that's kind of what really inspired the whole vibe of my color palette. So it was just really unique. And I was like, ooh, this is fun.
And I wanted to mention, I had to go back into my Moonstone ink pad. Like it just wasn't quite enough, and that's okay.
Yep, totally okay. And it is that is a lighter color, so you might find you need to do that for sure. I think Plastic Flamingo overlapped with Moonstone is the prettiest purple. It really is. I almost
I'm actually bringing my Moonstone down lower because I want that purple color.
I know. I was just going to say, I almost end up covering so much of my Moonstone because I just love the two colors together so much. It's so pretty. And Lawn Fun has a lot of purple inks, but this is like a different purple.
Yeah, it's something about it. It's very Frozen, you know, like
Yes.
Frozen color palette.
Yep. All right, and then we get the fun reveal. It's always so exciting. And I just love it on the pattern paper. It's just
It's
different.
so pretty. Oh, I love this. I can't wait to try this with other stencils now on this. Because this, I mean, so pretty for winter, but like we could do this concept on like with a spring pattern with this in the background, you know?
Oh
Like
yeah,
flowers.
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like Shari just said, like on the wood grain would be pretty.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see that next week.
Oh, we're gonna see that next week. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. So I'm just
It's
using
coming.
that isopropyl alcohol, and I'm just careful with the detailed stencils. I kind of just dab and blot because I don't want to wipe and get snagged on the snowflakes. You know, you just want to be gentle. Don't
I'm glad
harm
you
the
said that. I always
snowflakes.
need that reminder.
Yeah, I need that reminder a lot. And I'm always a paper snowflake girl. Bring them on. All right. So now we'll go ahead and start to put this card together, the one we just stenciled the pattern paper. Okay. So also in our kit, we have a stitched, scalloped, rectangle, frame, stackable.
I don't know. That's not.
I think so. Everyone in the office, it's a joke about those guys because like they're like, what is the name? They are like, it's so long.
Solid rectangle frame.
Oh, stitched, scalloped, rectangle frame.
It's not the really bad one.
The
Okay.
reverse one is the one that's real crazy.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
reverse one, reverse stitch scallop
gosh.
rectangle window is the bad one. I have to go look it up before I say it in the video.
And then be careful because you might have some sparkly stars if you did like little bags like I did. So don't lose your little sparkly stars. But the first thing that I'm going to do I was looking for my sample and it's literally right there.
Getting late.
It's getting late on the East Coast. The first thing that I'm going to do is just take this frame and I'm going to use some foam strips because they're like the perfect width to put right behind the frame. And if you just go close to the inner side, away from the scalloped edge.
And what we're doing is I have to show Shari I'm wearing a flower that she made me.
Oh, so pretty.
I cut another one.
Oh, Shari made me that and gave it to me for my birthday, and I love it so much.
Aw, love it. Meanwhile, this friend over here, I think, texted you 2 days later on your birthday because I lost track of the days.
It is fine.
Thanks, Shari. Thanks. Now I'm in Lawn Fawn jail.
To be fair,
No, it's birthday
that
month.
showed up in a package of Lancome stuff for the office. So
Okay, okay.
just throwing it there with other things.
Well, there's just some days that I lose track of all existence.
Technically, Kelly paid for shipping on her own birthday present.
Kelly, if you didn't hear that, Kelly paid for shipping for her own birthday present.
I love it.
Sent other samples with the present.
It was in a work box.
That's some sneaky stuff.
I love
right
it.
there.
Yeah, I like it though. Then it's like a nice little surprise. I'll have
Don't
everything in
tell
that box.
Don't
Surprise.
Don't tell Mike.
Beautiful. It was like beautiful cards. It's such a happy box to get.
Oh, I'm just teasing.
I know.
All right, so this frame sometimes tricks you out to get it lined up on your background, and I can't really use my trick of like lining up the corners like I share a lot with other things. So I'll kind of talk you through what I'm about to do, but you do you. But you kind of just can't stress about it too much. It's also because we did cut it out of pattern paper. It is, I think, a little bit not, I don't mean flimsy in a bad way, but because the paper's thinner.
Yeah, it's so sturdy. But
yeah, so practicing with cardstock is nice. Do you have tricks, Kelly?
Well, I mean, honestly, I put everything on a little crooked and then I just trim off the edges with scissors.
So see, with this frame,
Almost every single card. Oh, but we've got the frame going around.
Yeah. So with this frame,
Yeah.
I like the edging. So what I was going to explain
Yeah.
is, and I don't think my head's going to show up in the camera, but if it does, what I like to do is really just like look over the whole card, and I kind of am holding the left and the right, and I just go straight down.
No, your head is halfway in it.
Is my head halfway in it? Sorry, guys.
Get it lined up and pull your head out.
Well, it's easier said than done, Shari.
That's what I have to do.
Pressure. I don't do a lot of videos, but I just go straight down, right?
You know what? I did the same thing, and it worked.
Yeah.
And the good thing is, if it's not perfect, it's still gonna look good because
it honestly is. Once we start putting everything on, and I'm not trying to stress anybody out, but I was just explaining, like, I'm with you. It is a little bit of a tricky one to put down.
You did not just do that.
No, because it's on a shaker card.
Oh, I thought she meant ink. I don't know what Robin meant. She just said, "Did you dust it?"
Oh no. Maybe I did originally, Robin. You're like way better than me tonight, but. Oh, Robin's literally done every one of my classes. She's on to me.
Oh, she did it on the sample card.
Yeah. So on the sample card, I did dust the edges with ink. You know what? You can do it or not do it. It's all good.
It looks cute.
Oh yeah. Both looks pretty.
It's cute both ways. All right, so I'm going to have a cozy winter, and I'm popping it up. And this is a trick I learned from Shari. I don't know if you know Shari Moss, but she has some really fun tricks sometimes.
She's hiding in your studio, Jen.
Yeah, do you want me to actually introduce you, Kelly? Do you want to meet Shari? Just kidding. What I do is take the banner. Well, what Shari taught me is to take the banner, and I only want foam squares not on the frame, but in the center of the card. So you flip the banner over onto it, so you know not where to not put foam squares. Right, Shari?
Where to avoid, yes.
Yeah, where to avoid. Am I doing you proud?
Yeah, I wasn't actually sure what
you weren't sure what trick.
First. I was like, what trick are we
I was curious. I was like, what is this tip? But I like this. I always just kind of go,
what is this trickery that Jen's about to do?
Yeah, I do it with that when it overlaps something already popped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like when I tie twine and I want to avoid where the twine is.
Yes. And then we just put that down.
So instead of doing it on your desktop, put it on your card and you have a guide.
Yeah. And Amy says put some glue on the foam tape so you have some time to adjust. That's a great idea too.
Someone's also mentioning what ink pad we use with Copics that won't smear, and our jet black ink is the one that we use with the Copics.
Right here. Alcohol marker friendly, and it's also waterproof, so it's watercolor friendly. So if you do follow me, I do a lot with distress watercolor pencils, and I always, and by the way, always use this ink to stamp my images.
Ooh, we've got a couple of really good tips for laying down the frame. Yeah. So Christina always puts down the middle and then lays out the outside edges, which I like that. And then Cynthia's saying that she just peels off a small backer of the foam strips. A lot of our store owners do this. I see them do it in the classes.
Oh, yeah.
So you just peel a little bit of and then you just stick that, and then you put it right in the right place, and you peel a little bit more, and then do the next corner and the next corner. And I forget about that, but I always see our store owners do it, and they know what's up. So I need to start doing that more.
Jessica does that in lawn fawn videos a lot.
Okay, Jessica does that in lawn fawn videos.
Yeah, if she's doing a frame.
I'll just be very, very honest. I don't have patience to do that, but I think that's an amazing idea, and maybe someday when I've had a good night's sleep, I will try to do that. I love how there's so many different ideas for sure. So for this one, I'm going to start by adding the ball of yarn popped up, and then we're going to just kind of work our way over. I'm going to add my little earmuff kitty. Everything on this card is popped up except for the sparkly hearts, which we'll get to. And I'm tucking that little tail behind my ball of yarn. I like to kind of tuck things and everything just to kind of show some more dimension. And then we're going to add Mr. Harley. I'm going to go right next to his new friend. I've never had a gray tabby, so I don't know what his name is yet. But
it's Harley and Friends.
Yeah. And then, Jack. Jack, Harley and Jack and friend. He hasn't introduced me yet.
Harley and Jack and friend.
Yeah, Harley and Jack and friend. Listen, I spent a lot of time alone in the studio, so I've got to entertain myself. I should have named him, but I didn't. All right, and then we're going to take our little pink speech bubble and our purpley speech bubble. And like we were talking about, the stamp set has all these fun little sentiments, and you can choose whatever you would like to stamp in them. I am going to do Keep It Cozy and Warm Wishes, and I like to use an acrylic block. So I love the little 1.75 inch acrylic block from Lawn Fawn. I think it's my most used size. And I'm just going to throw Keep It Cozy on one side and Warm Wishes on the other.
We gotta. I can't find the black ink. I gotta look. I gotta go.
Rebecca's not there to help her find it.
And Rebecca's not there to help her.
It's all behind. I have my laptop propped up, and it's all behind my laptop.
And so we're gonna stamp one sentiment in the little rectangular, and one. And I'm keeping that color and glitter at the bottom because that's like the shadow. I remember to get my stamp chamois tonight. I'm really proud of myself.
Mine too.
Yeah, I was like, I don't have mine tonight. I'm like,
and Shari's impressed too because she knew there were a lot of distractions tonight. I was on my A game. All right, and then I did put speech bubbles behind those guys.
Bone dots?
Oh. Did I say speech bubbles?
Speech bubbles behind those guys.
I'm going to put speech bubbles behind the speech bubbles, you guys.
Like,
sorry. Foam squares. Sorry. My bad. Guess I'm not so much on my A game.
I was about to say when you said that, maybe we shouldn't say that.
Yeah, well, there we go. There we go.
The night's not over.
All right. And then the way that I like to add the tiny hearts is I actually like to use my pick up pokey tool.
hey.
Yeah, brand new one. I'm so excited.
It's our brand new tool.
How cute it is with the little green sparkles in there.
I know, and it picks up and it's pokey and it picks up.
Yep, it picks up and it's pokey.
It does what it does.
So what I like to do is I kind of am going to make sure that all my sparkly hearts are like upright. Okay. And then I take my Lawn Fawn glue tube. And this is the same way I would do sequins as well. But I'm just going to add a little dot of glue tube where I want a heart. And I'm just literally going to follow where I originally put them. So if you're making along with me, you can peek at your handout because I've already anguished over the placement of these, you guys. So we're not going to reinvent the wheel.
I love that. I like the word anguish really does, you know.
I mean, let's be honest. We all stress about
it so much. And it's like, why am I thinking about this so much?
Yeah. And so then I'm just going to go ahead and pick up my sparkly heart. And these were cut with the Hearts and Stars skinny tags. This is also paying homage to Shari. I feel like Shari right now, finishing off the card with hearts.
This is some Shari-ness right here.
I must have realized she was going to be here with me.
Yeah, right?
I'm really sucking up here.
You're like, I'm doing my hearts. You gotta.
Yeah.
If you took out the stickles, then we would know.
Oh, yeah. I drew the line there. But we are using stickles in our S'more the Merrier class and not Prismaglitter. So.
But we are using some chunky
But we are using chunky glitter, but that was Shari's choice. Nice. She gave me a little love. And there is our first card.
Oh, it's so cute.
Brenda says it's Thursday. No one's on their A game. Thank you, Brenda.
I love
Melissa
that.
loves the picky pokey. All right. So now
I
we're
gotta say,
going
I
to
love
work.
not anguishing about the placement of these. I'm just
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was such an anguish for people.
People
an
are
anguish.
always worried about where to put it. Yeah.
Just to do it
White
on-
gel pen and little hearts or stars is
Yeah.
a. We could probably do a whole crate with us just for that, with the tips and tricks.
Honestly, I don't know. Yeah. That's the pressure, though, of explaining why my brain picks where. That's pressure. All right. So we're going to work on our last card. And for this one, we are going to use the Winter Wonderland window, which I will mention, whether you're doing one of our free classes or one of my paid online classes, I try really hard to kind of bring back supplies that we've used before. And we did use this Winter Wonderland window, I think last year in our winter holiday Create With Us. Don't quote me on that, but I know we've used it before in a Create With Us.
I think you did. I think it was the last one.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to bring it back because I love that.
They did it for Cheesy Christmas.
All right. Cheesy Christmas. Was that last summer? Last winter?
Yes.
Oh, the window might have been 2 years ago. It came out 2 years ago, I think.
Cheesy Christmas? Okay.
On the window, but you might have used it with the. I can't remember.
No, you used it with Cheesy Christmas. The window is older. Oh, you've used it twice.
Oh, this is the third time. Look at
You used
me.
it in holiday 2023.
Look at me. I used it in 2023, 2024,
So if you
and
have
2025.
It, you can take 3 classes.
So if you were Janabled back in 2023, I'm now saving you money in 2025. Look at this.
Well, it's a good one to pull out.
It's a good one. Yeah, I love it. And again, any paper snowflakes. But the first thing that I did is I took my Moonstone ink and I just stamped the cluster of snowflakes, or you can use any of these, but I just used the larger cluster of snowflakes and just kind of stamped them all over in the Moonstone and the Merman area. I didn't go farther than that because honestly, the kitties are going to kind of cover it up. But because we're stamping on top of even what we ink blended, it is going to be a bit darker. It will dry a little bit lighter, so don't worry too much about it. But it's just like a nice little subtle pattern to add to our ink blending.
Are you just doing them random or are you connecting them?
I'm doing them random, but not as nicely random as I did last time.
Yeah, because you can do them random or you can also connect them to make a pattern. I like that you can do.
Yeah.
The random is fun though because it's not filling the whole. It's just a little. Oh my gosh, I stamped them up so high. I'm realizing the window's gonna just cover it.
That was your practice stamping.
What's pretty too is if you do like the second generation stamping. I just did that by mistake, but actually it looks really nice.
Yeah, super pretty. Yeah, Liz says, I think we used it for winter birds. I agree. And then we used it, which I did also use it in my online class. And then we used it for Cheesy Christmas. And then we're using it again.
I love it.
I did. I don't remember the name of it, but I did.
Tweets the season?
Yep, Tweets the Season. Yep, that was it. I have a lot of online lawn fawn classes. I think Brienne counted them for me on Sunday when I was teaching, and it's like in the 50s. So it's getting a little hard.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's a little hard to remember the names. Yeah. All right. So what I like to do is I'm going to take my Winter Wonderland window layers, okay? And I'm just going to glue the black layer on top of the snowflake layer. And for that, I like to just kind of use my dot runner. You could use liquid glue if you want. Whatever you're comfortable with. But I would do a flat adhesive. And I would only worry about like your windows lining up, okay? And I went over this in the homework video, like die cutting these so that things line up. But there's still always a chance that maybe things are not going to line up. So I would worry about your window looking good because we can always trim any pattern paper that's hanging off. Like I have a little sliver over here. So I'm just going to trim that off. Because remember, we are humans making these cards. So.
Oops. And I just put adhesive into where my window is. So see,
Perfect.
we all,
Love
that's
that.
what the adhesive remover was created for. I just got adhesive happy for some reason.
Bye, Amy. Have a good weekend with Sharon. All right, I'm going to flip my window over, and this I do want to pop up. So I'm going to use all the foam squares. This is where you can go crazy, Kelly. Yep.
I already went crazy
we did a reveal wheel in class on Sunday, and I thought of you because I know
with all my like where I'm just like, oh,
on reveal wheel adhesive.
Maybe one more right here. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I need another. That's what it goes on in my head. That might be nice if I put just one more.
I was thinking of you.
I'm just going to take my scissors to mine.
Yep.
It sparks great.
I love this window. It's so pretty.
I like that you can use the arch.
Yeah, anytime, like for any theme.
Or or just you can use just the snowflakes, just the arch, or them together. Because I like when a die, you can use it all year round.
Yeah,
buying it for Christmas. And we also have the spring version of this too.
Yep.
That has a different
version yet.
Oh yeah, we need to do that. That'd be pretty with fall leaves. Yeah, you the arches are different sizes too. So like if you have both, you have two different size plain arches, which is nice.
I don't know if I realized that. That's cool. Oh, that's right. I think I knew it, but I didn't remember it. So in this instance, because we don't have like a wobbly frame, I do take that left corner and line it up with the left corner of my background, put my finger there, and then I just let the paper fall up the card and over the card. And if I have any overhang over here, I'll just trim it off. That's where I definitely, but this one actually worked out pretty okay. Oh my gosh, I keep looking for the sample and it's literally right here. I'm thinking it's like off camera, so I'm like looking for it. And so then I added some foam squares behind my sentiment banner. This is the stitched sentiment banner, just so cute.
I love the font in this set because it looks almost like when people hand embroider like words into fabric.
Yep.
So pretty.
Aw, I didn't know that. Well, maybe I did know that, Melissa. She said Jen's videos got me back into stamping after a 10-year hiatus. Well, welcome back.
Amazing. Oh, so glad you're here.
Yeah. She's been to a couple of my in-person events too. All right. And now we're going to add our kitties. Or actually, let's go ahead and just stamp our speech bubble. So this one was, for me, a no-brainer. I'm going to stamp Curl Up with a Good Book. This is such a cute card that you could gift a friend, maybe one of your favorite books you've recently read.
That would be really cute.
Yeah, right? Like a little gift.
I have I want to say 20 half-used little foam square pages.
Oh gosh, yeah. I know. I sometimes get that way and I'm like, okay, goal is use these up.
Yeah, here's one that's empty. It's still in there. Foam square George, crazy.
I blame Miles on that one.
I know. Miles has become such an amazing crafter. He knows how to use all the supplies and he has ideas. He's like, I need to do this. And he comes with ideas. That's so amazing.
I love that. So I'm going to add foam squares behind all of these little images. Pop up all of the things. Should probably be my next crafty t-shirt.
I'm going to say that should be your next. Although that one would be if like random people would be like, "What?" If they're
Yeah,
not
I
a
know.
crafter.
But I love it. Maybe people will stop crafters like in the street and be like, "What does that mean?" And then you start talking about your love for card making, and then you find
Right? And then
new people.
I love that.
And I'm gonna kind of tuck this guy like behind the snowflakes a little bit. Both of them, as you're layering them.
I know mine put it down crooked. Looks like books are like teetering.
Oh
Like it's a big
gosh.
tall.
And then I always like to put a speech bubble at like a little bit of an angle. I just think it looks so cute. And then I also love like all of these like little descriptive words that Lawn Fawn's been including in these sets. So we're gonna do a little zzz, a little snoring, a little sleepy noise. We're gonna put that over Watcher.
How did you have the name Watcher?
So remember, I was only 8, so no making fun of me, but my best friend at the time, Megan, it was her cat that had a litter of cats. And so we were there when they were born. And
Oh my
so,
god.
yeah. And like, even though she knew she was going to have to like adopt all of them out, we were like, we're going to name them all. And Watcher, when he was born, he kind of like sat up and like, even though his eyes were closed, like he like wobbled, but he was like kind of bobbing his head around. So he looked like he was looking around. And so we named him Watcher. And then I, of course, like begged my parents to be able to adopt him, and somehow I got my way because that did not happen very often. But yeah, so I adopted Watcher, and that's how he got his name.
That is such a cute
Yeah,
name.
thanks.
I think it's so cute. At my grandma's house, we had a cat named Cool Dude. So
Oh, that's fun.
that's more. He had a cool tail, and we named him Cool Dude.
Oh, that is so fun.
And then Meow Meow. We've had some names that have cat names that were,
Yeah.
Meow Meow was kind of like a gray, sort of like a gray tabby, but not that many stripe details. And then Cool Dude, I don't know what he was. He was those like a very light, warm gray, but also some brown, and they have like the stripes on the tail. So a
Oh,
little bit
I
of,
know what you mean.
yeah, I'm not sure what kind
I
of,
feel like
he's just a,
Christy had a kitty of that coloring. Christy Wilkerson.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
so cute.
I don't know what
That
it's
was cool.
called, but I know what one you mean.
Yeah,
Any
yeah, there.
questions? Yes, this sentiment is popped up. And yes, I am going to be teaching an exclusive Lawn Fawn class at the next Scrapbooking Cards Today Crop and Create Delivered. I actually just submitted my class description today. I know they're opening up registration, I think next week. I think the 14th. Don't quote me on that, but I think. Okay, so same thing. We're not going to stress over placement. We're just going to copy past Jen. So I'm adding little dots where we're going to add, and this time I did silver sparkly hearts on the last one, and I did gold sparkly hearts on this one. And I just keep my little scraps of sparkle cardstock. Like no speck of sparkle cardstock goes to waste in this house.
And then I just have like a little dish with all my extra ones of the hearts and also the sequin.
That is so cute.
Yeah, so that when I cut them, I cut a bunch and then I just have them. And then I just have little extra ones around.
I'll kind of share what I do. It's not pretty, but it works. And I'm just adding the little heart steam. I just use the little half foam square to add that. But I just keep like, so right off of my table, I have a white bin that I keep upcoming class supplies and my most used Lawn Fawn dies. And so I have the Hearts and Stars skinny tag in one of my stamp pockets. And then behind here, I have just a clear bag and I have some scraps. So like, if I was using pixie dust cardstock to make another card, but it's not big enough to kind of keep with my other scraps, I stick it in here. And then if I'm die cutting like a lot of hearts at once and I don't use them all, you can see these are just not punched out yet. And then I just have like some loose ones in here too. hearts and stars, and look at the red hearts. Lots of them in there.
That's
And that's how I
perfect.
keep them. But
Yeah,
yeah.
we have a oh my gosh, in my pile here, there's also sneaks of Valentine's stuff in there.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
We have a lot of random die cuts in here right now, but I have like a
Oh yeah,
just
look at that.
yeah,
Oh,
especially the ones. I'll do like right now I have a birthday gift card that's super belated to give
I
to
have one
someone.
of those dishes too. Look at, I've got like a watercolored sun, the best sun in all of the land from spring showers. I have
Yeah,
earrings.
a little so I die cut like a little and I put like a little button on our stitched envelope
Oh,
die.
that's so
And
cute.
it's a birthday gift card holder.
That's
And
so cute, Kelly.
I put a glue dot behind it and I like unstickify the glue dot so that it's like you can
Yep,
open it like a
that's
little
so
wallet
cute.
and it opens up.
Yeah, this is like my
But I
random
like
dish. I don't know why I keep all these images because I never look here, but they're here with a watercolored sun. Oh, thank you, Libby. So registration, she thinks, for Crop and Create, because Libby also teaches at the event for Pink and Maine, is the 15th for alumni and the 20th for newbies. So nothing about the 14th. Thank you, Miss Libby. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Fuzzy Wuzzy. That's cute. Oh my
I love
gosh.
that. Is super cute. Oh my goodness. This is so fun. These cards turn out so adorable.
Yay. Well, thank
And I
you.
only was
Yeah.
using a ball of yarn. I'm gonna have to add that later, but
Oh yeah, so cute. Ooh, I love your ink blending. It looks so awesome. Here, let me flip the camera so that they can see your cards better.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
Oh wait, here we
so
go.
cute. Yeah, they're
Sorry, I'm really delayed today, so because of the internet.
yeah,
Isn't that
it's okay
pretty?
though. They're so pretty. I love it. Yay. They are so awesome. I'm just making sure we didn't miss any questions. Um, can you give us a hint for what products you will use for Crop and Create? Well, I would say definitely read our class description because
That's the hint.
there's a little hint in there. And Scrapbooking Cards Today will post those. So yeah, definitely. Before I let you guys go, I'm going to just flip over here real quick because I did mention I have so many fun classes this fall that I really would love for you guys to join me. Witchy Wishes and Hello Beautiful are available now. So if you're looking for like a little Halloween inspiration or a little fall inspiration, even if you don't have all of the supplies, sometimes just having coloring guides or getting a stepping stone of a color palette, or it just helps you get going, and they're just such fun classes. We've had so much fun in these. And then Shari and I will be teaching S'more the Merrier live. Shari, do you know the date by any chance? October 24th.
Sure. Hold on.
Oh,
Shari's
soon.
Shari's checking.
Wait, I had moved my calendar.
Yeah, no problem. I kind of put you on the spot.
You did.
Yep.
Oh, I need a different calendar turned on. I have too many calendars.
Too many calendars.
The 24th.
Okay, so October 24th is S'more the Merrier. And and we actually like posted polls like on my website asking people what they wanted us to teach, because Shari and I typically like to like go back into the oldie time sets and play with those. And everybody voted for S'more the Merrier. So we're super excited about that. And then I have Very Mice Holiday, which will be a holiday card class I'm teaching in November. And then I did want to just let you guys know, because some people emailed me and they're like, I can't believe you don't have a cozy cat class. That's coming. That's going to be my winter class that I'll teach in December, early December. So you'll be able to use them for last minute holiday cards if you want, but you'll also be able to use them for winter birthdays or winter greetings, winter thank yous, maybe after the holidays. So those details will be coming soon. And I think Shari did post in the chat, Scrappy Chic is a store in Michigan, and they offer a limited amount of kits for my online classes. So they only do a limited amount and they do sell out quickly. But do you remember which ones were still available, Shari?
I only searched for the mice because that's all that was asked.
Okay, that's probably all that's available. S'more the Merrier might have sold out if you went to the page and that was all that was pictured.
Well, I didn't go to the page. I just
Oh,
searched.
okay.
So.
But I link Scrappy Chic in all of my class descriptions, so you can definitely check out what is available. But again, I would love, love, love for you guys to join me. They're a lot of fun. We have a good little community built up in those classes.
More the Merrier is still listed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So S'more the Merrier is available and very nice holiday. So there we go. Yay.
I love that.
Oops. There we go.
There we go.
Oh, yay.
I love how like I have Francois back here or here, and then like you have Shari in the same like you guys are lined up.
Oh, my ears downstairs. Yeah.
The antler.
I've got my antler headbands from back in the CHA days. So.
I know those were so fun. I always would try to wear them. I had such a big head that I could wear them for like 5 minutes and have to take them off.
They like pinch. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I do have like a oddly like hats and stuff. Like stuff just doesn't fit me. So my dad had to have a special football helmet or something. Like I think we're just like a big headed family.
I'm not going to question that. I love it. Margot says, I'm working on Hello Beautiful and Witchy Wishes. And Tracy is saying that Scrappy Chic does a great job on their kits. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. So,
and then next week we have Inspiration Week and a special surprise midweek, so you'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
And then there's gonna be the S'more the Merrier class, and then all the other amazing classes that some are self-paced and some are live, or even if it already happened, you could take it as a self-paced class.
Yeah.
And then I know that we have some things out of stock in the new release, but new shipments are coming every day. And if there's something you really like, make sure to sign up to be notified. You'll just get an email in your inbox that says it's available right when it goes live. So it's nice because you don't have to keep checking. You'll just get that email and you'll know when it's available. And so that's a great thing to look out for too.
Yes, and adventures in card making is coming up.
Oh yeah. Really quick though, I do have to tell you, Libby says that you have big brains. That's why the headbands and the hats don't fit. And if you're looking for some more inspiration with your Lawn Fawn supplies, yeah, Shari and I do adventures in card making. So do you have those dates, Shari?
Yeah, October 30th.
October 30th.
And November 13th.
And November 13th. So those are Thursdays. And we do the voting on Instagram stories, on Lawn Fawn's Instagram stories on Mondays. And so we kind of do a poll like this or that. And you guys get to choose. We have no say. I try to get all my friends to vote for the things I want and they never win. But we still have so much fun. So you guys get to vote, kind of like choose your own adventure. And it's so casual. There's no handout or anything, but we have so much fun. I always love how our cards turn out for those. And we love to see what you make as well. So you can, after this live, head right on back over to the live section and you can tap the bell to be notified, to be reminded of those as well. So, and then, yeah, another release from Lawn Fawn in December, and we'll do a create with us in January. We kind of wait because the release is Valentine's focused. So we know people kind of want that inspiration in the new year. So, yeah.
I know the timing of Valentine's is always crazy. We have to come out with it before Christmas. People have enough time to get it in their hands and get it's nice to wait till January for the class. It's perfect after the holidays.
Yeah, for sure. But thank you guys so much. This is always so fun. Kelly, we wish you were here with us.
But we will see you next week.
But we'll see you
I know,
next
me
week.
too. I miss you guys. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, it is chilly.
You would not be having fun.
It's chilly right now. We went from summer weather to immediate fall weather. So
like the high was like 15.
No transition.
Yeah. But thank you guys so much. Oh, and thank you, Margot. So Margot says, please do more homework videos if you can. I appreciate that. Everybody was asking, like, during these lives, can you show the process of how you make the kits? And they were like, do a reel. And I was thinking about it. I am such a teacher. I like to make sure I'm explaining things thoroughly. And I just kept thinking 90 seconds is not going to cut it. So I'm glad that you guys appreciated it. I filmed it in real time. I purposely didn't edit it down so you could make your kits with me, and kind of, it was more crafty time for us to hang out together. So I'm glad that you guys, you liked it. So yeah.
And someone here is asking for a thank you kids kit. You'll be very happy once our kids kits come out. I don't know when they're coming out because we're still working on getting everything, but there is a thank you one. So you're going to love it.
Melissa says, even if I'm not crafting along, I love hearing Jen and Shari giggle. I think she means during adventures in card making.
Oh, yeah.
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 Oh, lots of silliness happens. Lots of silliness. But anyways, well, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you being here. And we will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.